Morning, Joe Biondo with Inbound Logistics here at Modex2026. Right now I'm talking with Gianni Togni, Head of Sales at Automha, and Nicole Clement, Advanced or Chief of Advanced Automation Solution with Comau. Gianni, what would you say your customers are bringing to you as the biggest pain point that they're experiencing that they might not have been 2 years ago?
Okay, so what all our customers are looking when we are approaching them for new opportunities or new projects is actually the main point is the solution. So which is the big benefit that can bring Automha with the combination of Comau to their needs, okay? And not talking about mainly on the standardization of machineries we have, okay, but which is the best customized solution we can give to them by using our standard machineries. First point is this one. Second point, of course, is the digitalization of all the flow and process. Okay, so having all the machineries plus the automated system connected with the factory, with the main software of the factory, to having a one unique, let me say, platform that can give KPIs to the customer in real time when they need.
Nicole, what would you say you're hearing from your customers that's their biggest pain point that they might not have experienced 2 years ago?
Well, I think that it's really important to offer flexibility, as Gianni was just saying. Have definitely a standard set of solutions, but then offer flexibility for customization. Warehouses nowadays have all kind of different shapes and sizes. Our customers have lots of different needs when it comes to throughput. So one warehouse must have a super fast throughput, so it might be better to use like a stacker crane. The other one has maybe a slower throughput than you would actually, or it needs more variability. You would probably rather use a shuttle system that has different ways to go. Also use an AMR for a different section where you need more flexibility with let's say a different type of throughput with different types of parts.
Gianni, looking around the MODEX show today, I know it's early, but what would you say is something that you're seeing that might have been unthinkable even just 5 years ago?
So the main difference that I can see when walking through the aisles of the show is comparing, for example, the shows we have now in these years also in Europe. There is a big demand, a big offering of AI applications. What I saw also connecting with, and as well also what we are showing here in our booth. So having AI in supporting the business and not just being a kind of, let me say, something so unique or special, but more a kind of commodity that you have to integrate in your system in order to support the business. So what I can see is generally on solutions is not changing too much comparing years ago, okay, in terms of machineries, type of solution and so on, but is bringing a lot of attention the support we can give to the customer with more AI technologies, KPIs, that is the need of nowadays.
Gianni, with that in mind, what would you say is the biggest mistake you see customers making as they start their digital transformation journey?
Okay, so the main mistakes is just, in my opinion, is customizing too much what they need. So is verticalize too much on their needs, thinking that they know too much their business. Because of course we cannot, we are not the owners of the business of our customers, but we know how to bring solutions to solve their needs. Okay, so the main mistakes what we see is that the customer are making too much verticalization of the solutions, okay, making them too deep on their business. In that case, you are too much tight with for example, software installation. You are too much tight inside the solution, okay, and this is the biggest probably mistake or issue that can have customers in the future.
Nicole, what is the biggest mistake you see companies making as they start their digital transformation journey?
Well, there are several. I think one is that they're coming from the technology angle too much and not really think about, okay, what can actually digitalization, AI bring as a value to my customers. then also I see that companies work a lot in silos when it comes to digitalization. The engineering department works on their own, the supply chain department work on their own, and there's not kind of a agenda and a architecture that is actually first in place to think about how can digitalization serve our entire company. There's not kind of a North Star that people are working towards. And then also I think people underestimate the cultural change that is needed to digitalize. People are worried about losing their jobs, really like Gianni said, kind of thinking a lot on their own benefit instead of how can it benefit my customers, how do I need to change my business to really be able to sell tomorrow. And then the last thing I think is really to think about what could be the recurring revenue models, models that weren't there before or that weren't possible before. What could digital solutions bring in terms of recurring revenue, digital services, the whole new business models that were not there before. A lot of people don't think that way when they start their journey.
Gianni, so your guiding principle is automation made simple. Looking around the booth, there's a lot of sophisticated machinery that we're looking at. How do you simplify that so that a warehouse manager can actually run it on a day-to-day basis?
Okay, so the main mission, the main idea when Automha was created actually 4 years ago was standardize as much as we can, so industrialize as much as we can our machineries in order to be integrated in the future in all the automated warehouses and introduce this solution in the easiest and fastest and safest way. Okay. For example, here at the show we are showing a high-density storage solution that is a good explanation of what we mean about automation made simple. Because, for example, when you are approaching customer when they have to make a full automation in their warehouse, in their facility, we want always to approach the customer in a step-by-step automation. In the high-density storage solution, we can have the semi-automated shuttle-based automation. That is the first step. That is a combination within the operator that is driving a forklift with the shuttle and the racking. Okay, like we see on the upper level of the racks in this case. Then we can have another step of automation is the AGVs that is using and is communicating with the shuttles. Then we can move to stacker cranes and fully automated solution. So we say all the time automation made simple because the customer has to make a dialogue with the application, as not to have fear about investing and sometimes when we are talking about field automation, people or customers saying that we are stalling people and because adding automation means that you are reducing the manpower in the warehouse. It's not true, because what always I suggest and I always say to our customer that I'm a big fan of the change management status. Means that we are bringing the people that are working with the warehouse and moving them making a kind of upgrade of people. Okay, so they can grow inside the company. They can grow with the company.
So Gianni, we're seeing a partnership here with Comau,
yep.
Right? And that's bridging the high density storage from Automha with the robotic picking arm. Can you walk us through how this integrated intralogistics approach changes the game for outbound logistics?
Okay, so the main the combination between Automha and Comau is unique and is very peculiar because we are of course a pallet-based company. So Automha is a pallet-based company and we were in need actually on a kind of robotics or application that was supporting the outbound or shipping process or picking process. Okay, and this one was the first approach and level of integration we have done. Second one, of course, with the global network and global organization that Comau has, we can of course expand our production network, we can expand our technologies, and we can be one unique provider of solution for the customer.
So Automha has a huge footprint in the food and beverage space. specifically in deep freeze environments,
Yeah.
negative 30 degrees Celsius. So what's the biggest challenge your hardware solves for someone trying to automate a freezer where most electronics usually fail?
Okay, so the freezer is not, cold stores application are not easy.
Yeah.
And not because is different when you are storing goods at minus 12 or minus 30 Celsius degrees, or is not also good when you are storing at a chilling environment like plus 3, plus 4 degrees. And this is coming out our, let me say, the first idea we had, Automation Made Simple, to create as much as possible standardize and making the industrialization of our machineries to have work in ambient environment or freezer without changing anything. So all our equipment can work in the ambient environment and cold stores without any issue, any problem. And actually we are the biggest company in terms of number of applications we have done in the cold stores comparing all the other players in the industry. Mainly in the 3PL cold stores and food and beverage.
So if I'm a manufacturer 3PL and I'm looking at this and I'm saying I'm not quite ready for a full-scale ASRS system, where is the entry point into Automha's ecosystem?
Entry point is making a standard optimization of the warehouse. Means the idea of a warehouse is not storing in the ground but storing vertical. Okay. Again, the first step can be making a standard high-density storage solution at the first level with a standard shuttle-based automation. That is the first step with an implementation in 12 weeks, ROI in less than 16 months, okay? So you can have the first optimization of your warehouse. Then you work with this application a couple of years. After that, we can integrate AGVs. In fact, inside Comau, the big advantage that we do also have AGVs now. In the past, Automha was not had not this product in our portfolio, okay? So we can be in one unique player and one unique provider to the customer. So the first, Joseph, the first application to suggest is a very basic high-density storage solution.
Nicole, Comau is a giant in automotive robotics, but we're seeing a massive push into intralogistics. How does this partnership with Automha allow you to bridge the gap between high-density storage and the precision robotics needed for palletization and depalletization?
Yeah, so we see that a lot of our customers, and as you said, we are coming out of the automotive space, General Motors, Stellantis, Tesla, they're all asking us basically to expand our offer from the manufacturing space, automating how their cars are built, to moving goods from the factory line to the warehouse, so intralogistics solutions, and then also offer them the storage solutions that they need, for example, for their spare parts and all the little parts that you need, the screws, etc. So we need definitely a partner that can basically help us increasing our share of wallet in our customers that we have today. And also we think that we can basically help them de-risk the approach by getting everything from one provider and also keep it going and expanding. I mean, they are just starting to really automate their warehouses. They are starting to automate their alongside their factory lines with AMRs, with forklifts, and then going up to palletizing, depalletizing, and of course the storage of the goods.
So we have the Comau robotic arms that are interacting with the Automha shuttles. Can you explain the AI and machine vision required to handle imperfect pallets or variable box sizes at the high speeds required for modern fulfillment?
Sure. So, I mean, alongside with the technology needed, as the cameras that work, that needs to work in a 3D environment, the sensors that are needed to understand the material that needs to be grasped, you definitely need AI models that help you detecting and segmenting the objects that you have to pick or that you have to grasp. Different heights of boxes that are damaged. with the respective vision and respective perception models that are already out there, like YOLO, for example, other models that we have built on our own internally. We are building the AI stack that helps, first of all, to detect the objects, and then there is another AI stack needed to actually help the robot grasping the actual object, a box, and respectively understand where to grab it and grasp it best. And then there is another AI needed to make the robot understand how to adapt the movement to avoid collision, for example. And then in the end, you need to also have an AI to understand whether, for example, something shifted on the pallet. It's not in the right space anymore. So before you actually move from the pallet, there's another AI model needed to manage that.
So Comau's been an innovator with AMRs for a while. In a fully automated warehouse, how do these mobile robots handshake with the Automha's shuttle systems to create a truly touchless flow from the storage rack to the shipping dock?
So again, our AMR fleet, and basically we just launched it. You are right, we already had some AMRs in the past. They were very tailored to specific needs that some of our customers had that were actually working alongside the manufacturing line. Now with this new line of AMRs, the MyMR line that offers from small to medium to higher payload worth of weight that they can carry, they basically are able to handshake by adding conveyors or lifters that can then carry different pallet sizes of different payloads right into the shuttle system. This is interesting mostly in warehouses that are need a higher degree of flexibility, not super high throughput, for example. But also the next level would be to actually use an autonomous forklift that doesn't need to have a lifter or a conveyor and just pick it from the actual truck. That is the vision, is picking from a truck, moving right into the shuttle system.